Okay, we're going to use the Tamaya green here. Mix up some 5-minute epoxy. Mix in a little green. You want it to be kind of a clearish green. This is going to be for our HUD, the TV screen basically, or the bulb, the lens. All right, in our dash, we'll put our green epoxy mixture and kind of fill it up and put it to the sides. Using our drawings, we're going to paint up our cockpit. It's a very scale cockpit. Yet simple to do. Okay, here's our HUD. We used our template to make that out of some plastic. 0.007 thick plastic. And we'll paint the side of the HUD. And let's glue our pilot in and our ejection seat. Using 5-minute epoxy. Just get all the epoxy in all those places and pop them in there. You'll probably have to hold them down. Okay, once the epoxy's dried, let's make our neck rod here. We drop it through in line on the neck, and we made our mark inside where we figured it hit, and we're just a little ways off, but that's okay. So we're going to grease up a 256 wire, 12 inches long, because we're going to use epoxy on this to make a bearing. Want it greased up. Alright, we'll fit that through and get our brass, our 1/8 brass, and we'll push that in, and then we're going to make our bend on our 256 wire. Here's our bend. This is going to make our pilot move around. It's going to be sweet. Okay, we put the brass back up to elevate the 256 rod, and we're going to glue that brass piece in. You can see there's the brass is coming out the top there. And we'll put it a little bit right at the top of the brass and the 256 wire so it doesn't vibrate. Okay, we'll glue that top piece in. Make sure you center up that rod right in the neck there. Want the pilot's head to move correctly. And it's all dry, looking good. Here, we'll measure and cut off that 256 wire. Be careful. Okay, let's rough it up with a Dremel tool. That way the epoxy will stick real nice. We have our hole in our head already. And once we like the fit, try it out. Oh, here he goes. He's coming to life. Can adjust the head for proper position at this time. Okay, right on the bearing, the epoxy bearing that we made, we're going to put a little grease right on his neck area there. We don't want any epoxy to fall into the hole. Okay, we fill up the neck area and the head with 5-minute epoxy and put some on the rod, 256 wire, and we're going to put our head on. We should be able to keep it attached with this system. And we'll flip the plane over so the epoxy doesn't run out of the head. And hold it until it's dry. And you can, at the same time, you can straighten out your wire. Make sure it's all straight and the pilot's looking straight ahead. It's looking good. Okay, let's put the hose on that we made. Glue inside the mask there. Add a little bit of epoxy to the hose. Both sides, and we'll fit one in the side there, right by the seat belt, and one into the mask. Using our carpet thread, we're going to have a speaker wire kind of travel all the way on down the hose. Oh, he's looking good. He's coming to life, folks. It's going to look good on the tarmac taxiing around. Let's tin our canopy. We're using the Ritz brown dye, the liquid. Put some water in there. We used about 1/3 of that Ritz dye. Okay, we're going to heat this water up to 135 degrees. Now notice I got some gloves on here. You're going to have the same. We're at about 135 degrees. And we'll pour it right into the canopy. Slosh it around. Have the cold water running already. And the water's not hot enough to where I could actually stick my finger into that mixture, and I won't burn myself with the Playtex gloves on. Okay, cool it all down, rinse it all out. You don't want it real dark. That's as quick as it is. And just paper towel it off. Be real gentle when you wipe it, but wipe it all the water out. And just set her aside. Let's clean up. Be sure and wash your pan and a little bit of Comet in the sink, and this will clean right up. Looking good. Okay, we're going to epoxy our fuselage levelers on using the 1/4x wood. We're going to use a ruler and level the fuselage side to side. Once satisfied, epoxy those on. This is a critical procedure. The fuselage must be straight. We're going to epoxy the canopy on. The fuselage is all level. We'll be able to put the canopy on real nice and straight. Make sure it's real clean and blow out the inside of the fuselage. And mix up your 5-minute epoxy. You notice how I twisted my hand. Well, we're using a popsicle stick here. We can put it up the side and kind of just pull the epoxy on. It works real nice. And if the epoxy drips, it just drips down. It will not get inside. You must hold the canopy in this way. And wipe off any excess. And we're going to put that on. I love this canopy. F-16 canopy is such a neat canopy. I'll tape it in place. Look down and make sure it's real nice and straight. And tape the sides and push it in real tight.